What we do every single time is we get in here on Thursdays, 11 a.m. We go straight to the chat box and we type in, some of you know, some of you don't. It's a freedom day. So go ahead and type it in there. Thank you, Sarah. It is a freedom day. This whole thing is based upon building freedom for yourself, whether that means time freedom, financial freedom, family freedom, social freedom, whatever it is that you're trying to create for yourself. We believe at our company, at the Freedom Organization, we believe that everything you do every single day is to help you hit those freedoms in your life, right? And so we got a lot of great freedoms. Thank you, Ozzy. Thank you, SG. I'm not sure who that is. Benjamin, Rosie, Bryson, Dave, Brian. Thank you, guys. Gary, thank you. Courtney, it's a Freedom Day in Cypress, Texas. Yes. All right. So, guys, today we're going to talk about a funny thing. I walk into the house this morning and I had a few subjects that I wanted to kind of go over today, and I was unsure which one I was going to cover. And I go to my daughter, who's 12 years old, she's turning 13 this month, and I said, if you were in business right now, what would you want to learn this morning? And she said, how to get my sales up. I don't know where she learned this stuff, but but I'm gonna show her some love, because I thought about that for a second and I was like, yeah, that's a great point, right? Because first of all year long, we should be talking about how to get our sales up, right? But right now it's the summer, and a lot of people face hardship in the summer. A lot of people face hardship for many reasons. One reason is we are trying to find vacations for ourselves, right? Like we're trying to take some time off. Another hiccup that we run into is that many people are on vacation, right? And so depending where you live, that could affect you or could not affect you, right? So for instance, I'm in Miami, Florida. So while Miami folks are going on vacation and checking out new places, most people along the Northern Corridor are coming down to Miami to check out Miami, right? And so it gives us the opportunity to help people who are trying to get in here in the summer to get their kids into school, right? Be on time. And so there's a give and take, really depends where you are, but in most places we can agree that summer slows down quite a bit, just on a national level, right? And so I thought about summer selling. Like, what are some of the things that we could do to continue to have value, to continue to promote ourselves, to continue to build, so that we can continue to provide value to our consumers so that they continue to use us, right? And so I came up with 6 things that we're going to cover today, right? First thing I came up with was start fast, stay fast, end fast. Now, a lot of people, they get into the summer and kids get out of school and they're home now. And so we get into this like super slow-mo motion, right? We start thinking, I don't know what happens in our brains, that the sun is shining, the pool is glistening, the beach is ready, the boats are ready, like summer's happening, and we get into this mindset that we need to kind of just take a chill pill. We got to slow down. And I would challenge you guys to stay at the same rate of speed that you were when everybody was on the hustle, right? That's going to help you stay ahead of the game. That's going to help you stay in front of your competition, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, right? That's going to help you really be effective throughout the summer. Now, here's the crazy part, right? So I'll draw this out for you guys. But the crazy part is this. Oh, that was the last training. Hold on a second. All right. So the crazy part is this, right? We have this line. It's like January and then December. And then we've got this summer, right? June, July, August. And there's like this slow down peak right here. And then there's a pickup peak right here. Because once school starts again, September, October, November, it starts to slow down again. But we'll talk about that in a second. There's this piece here, November, December, that we see another breakdown. January, people are in recovery. And then February, March, you start seeing income tax checks returned, right? All of these things are relatable, right? And so what I want to challenge you to do, oh, you can't clearly see the screen. Stand by 1 second. See, it's that new camera thing I got going on. Bear with me. Let me see if I change to the raw camera. Thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate you. Let's see what we got here.
Like,
all right. Let me get some exposure.
there you go.
Right.
Down.
You guys see it better?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. All right. I'm still learning how to use this camera. I might be super dark in this video, but you know what? We'll figure this out. Okay. So the idea is, we've got January's a bit slow. Everybody just spent their money during the holidays. They went on vacations. They traveled. They were in Colorado, whatever the case is. February, March, income tax checks start to come in. Those things start to get settled. Finances are in better position. They start buying again. Summer comes in. No, now I got summer plans. I need to slow down again. August, September, October starts to pick up again. Business is booming. Then November, December kicks in. Again, we're back in the holidays, right? And so the key here is people will do this. They'll peak, they'll slow. They'll peak, they'll slow, right? And they'll sell here and be broke here. Sell here and be broke here. So how do we stop this chain of events? The easiest way to stop this chain of events is to stay consistent in what you do all year long. I don't care how slow the market becomes, you do not cut back on attention. You do not cut back on marketing. You do not cut back on exposure. You do not cut back on your posts on social media. You don't do that stuff, because those of you who stay consistent throughout the year, no matter what month it is, what do you think is going to happen when everyone slowed down this summer and you stay consistent throughout the process? What do you think your September looks like versus their September? Does that make sense to you guys? Yes or no? Post it in the chat, right? Yes or no? Does that make sense to you, right? Because when you are in this business and you have done business in real estate, you understand that whatever you do today will pay you in 60 to 90 days. We can all agree on that, right? So if I start in September because I wanted to be slow for the summer and I was not consistent, then there's September, October, and maybe I get a paycheck in the end of October, November, and December. Some things start to close. But the things that are closing in December is not work I did in December. It's work that I did in September. It's the lead generation, the follow-ups, the phone calls, the drip campaigns, and all that stuff, right? And so this is the consistency that I want you guys to focus on. So if you take away anything today, start fast, stay fast, and end fast, which means that at the end of the summer, you're not tired yet. Keep that consistency. Keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, number 2, train every day. All right, so this is something I've spoken to hundreds of high-level entrepreneurs. I've been on stages all over the country. I've written books that I've spoken to people to research. Every single person tells me the same thing. They train every day. High-level individuals train every single day. I don't care if that means that you're in the Freedom Achiever Academy, which we created, right? So Mike, put the link in there so people have it. The Freedom Achiever Academy, I don't care if it means that. I don't care if it means you go to YouTube. I don't care if it means that you listen to podcasts every single morning, but there is a connection to the fact that those who train on a daily basis, even for 15 minutes in the morning, do better in their businesses. They walk away with ideas. They walk away with concepts. By the way, they walk away with motivation. So we are in this very lonely business where many of you wake up in the morning and you are by yourself, right? And so you have to find the motivation to do this business every day. And some of you say, well, I go downstairs, I make breakfast for my kids. I look at my kids, I look at my house and I go, I got to keep this going. And that's all the motivation I need. Bullshit. You need more than that, right? And so that motivation comes from, a small piece of it comes from that training every day. Because when you're listening to somebody coach you, train you, or do whatever it takes, that person is interacting with you every single morning, every single day. Whether you can interact back or not doesn't even matter. It's the fact that you're gaining new information brought to you by someone new every single day, right? So again, if you join the Freedom Achiever Academy, you have hundreds of videos you can tune into, or you can go to YouTube, or you can, pick a few podcasts, right? I've got a podcast. Like, I think we're on 200 something episodes. Like, there's so much information out there that we can tap into that not one person on this Zoom right now has any business being unsuccessful. It just can't happen anymore, right? And for those of us that it happens for, there's a mental click, a mental check that we need to flip and go, hey, listen, I need to do something different. Whatever that means for you, I need to do something different. And sometimes that message can come to you from simply listening to a podcast, from simply listening to an education level, by simply following an academy, by taking a course. I mean, listen, I've been coaching 10 years. I do this class every week. I coach agents one-on-one, and I do not stop educating myself. I listen to podcasts sometimes in the gym. I'm a weirdo. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you, right? So like, it just is what it is. I thirst for knowledge. I also have this compulsive thing that I don't want to run out of information. Is that crazy? Right? Because I'm doing this all the time and speaking to people all the time, that I almost feel like I don't want to run out of information. And in order for me to not run out of information, I need to stay consistent with what's happening in the times in the market and marketing and, training and coaching and balance and foundation work and business. And there's some things that are never going to change. And then there are things that are adaptive over time. Right? So paying attention to training every day. Number 3, don't cut your hours. All right. So this is almost in unison with number 1, where we take a slow down and we go, okay, well, I used to go to the gym at 5 a.m. or I used to wake up at 5 a.m. But you know what? It's the summer. So I'm gonna go to the gym at 9 or 10. Just kill 4 or 5 hours of my day right there. Don't cut your hours. Don't short yourself. Right? Some folks are like, it's kind of quiet. I'm just gonna, catch this TV show in the middle of the day, right? Or, I'll go swim in my pool for a minute. Listen, I'm not against that stuff. I work from home, and I will not lie to you and pretend that I won't do it. There are times where I'm killing myself all morning, and 1 p.m. rolls around, and I'm free for an hour. And I change into my bathing suit, jump into my pool for 15 minutes, go take a quick shower, and get dressed again. Why not? Right? You deserved it. Right? I've been up since 5. I'm putting the work till 1. Yo, that's a long day right there. 6-hour day. So I'll go jump in the pool for 15 minutes, jump out, get a shower, grab something to eat, and then I'm back to work. Don't cut yourself short. Right? But Dave, no one's calling me, or Dave, I have no listings, or Dave, then go get them. Like, go get them. Dave, it's hot outside. I don't want to knock on doors. Sorry. Like, I don't know what to tell you, right? Like, door knocking is not a winter sport, folks. It's a year-long course, like, and I'm a believer, like, if you guys watch a lot of stuff that I do, that I believe in social media. I believe in social media ads. I believe in funnel making. I believe in attraction through interaction. But that doesn't mean I believe less in postcards. I believe in my world in postcards. I believe in door knocking. Why? Because I'm better in front of people. Like, people go, oh, you're so good on camera. Shit, you should see me in front of somebody, right? And so that makes a huge difference. Knocking on somebody's door and having a conversation with them. Even if they tell you, dude, I'm not interested, and slam the door in your face, you go, okay, but I wasn't selling anything. And then I start laughing. And you know what? Sometimes people open the door again. They go, what? You're not selling anything? No, I'm not selling anything, man. I just want to give you my information and let you know that I'm hosting this event in your clubhouse. Right? Staying consistent in that nature, right? Now, some of you are thinking, what is this event in the clubhouse? How many of you want to farm your community and be the number 1 salesperson in your community, right? Like, if you want to be the number 1 salesperson in your community, you need to know the people that live in your community. So host events in your community. What event should I host? I don't know. Summer wind down, and we talk about the market, right? Get a sponsor that buys 5 cases of wine Go to Costco, get those, funky wine glasses, the plastic ones that you can throw away. Okay. The ones you got to piece together at the bottom with the stem. You know what I'm talking about, right? And then pass those out. Everybody has wine while you talk about what's happening in the market. Nothing wrong with that. Wine and cheese, wine down, summer wine down, right? Summer spritzer today. Like, call it, if you're not into alcohol and that's not your thing, cool. Just have sandwiches, donuts, bagels, coffee, whatever the freak you feel like putting on the table, but attract people to come, sit with you, do the work, and introduce yourself to them by telling them you're the subject matter expert in their neighborhood. And then don't do it once, do it every 3 months. Every 3 months, which means that if you're doing an event every 3 months, okay, the crazy part is you have to give yourself time to push that event, right? Which means you need to go out there and door knock and meet people. You need to be out there at 5, 6 p.m. when people are out for their afternoon stroll after work, decompressing, pushing baby strollers, on bicycles, and you need to have those flyers on you with QR codes on them, with an Eventbrite that they can register to. Don't cut yourself short, right? Get people to interact with you. Get people to interact with you. The more you interact with your community, the more your community will trust you to be the one who sells the houses in the community. You won't win 100% of them. But here's the crazy part. Statistically, the number is that if you had 17% of your market share, you're dominating. 17% doesn't sound that hard anymore, does it? Right? 17%. But Dave, there's gated communities in my neighborhood. Cool. Leave your car at Publix, walk into them. Like, I got an answer for everything. You can give it to me. But Dave, every house in my community is gated. Do they have intercoms? Call them from the intercom. Right? Can you put rubber bands on postcards and hang it on their gate so when they get home, they have to get off and pick it up pissed off? Piss them off. Make them get out their car and go, oh, somebody hung something on my gate again, right? But they're going to grab it, and before they toss it, they're going to read it. Wind down market share conversation. Please join us next week, Wednesday, while we sip on wine, eat some cheese, and talk about what's happening with home prices in your neighborhood. If I'm a home seller and I'm even remotely worried about the value of my home because I might want to sell it, I'm showing up, right? And they're going to register on that Eventbrite. That's where they'll get the information on where it's going to be located, and they show up. Actually, next week, we'll probably do a class on marketing these events and do's and don'ts on the postcards, the flyers, and things like that, and how you attract people to show up. Okay. All right. Next thing, compete. All right. So listen, I don't care if you compete with a friend and get yourself like a sales buddy. Call it a sales buddy, right? In the Army, I think they call them battle buddies, right? Things like that. Like, get yourself a sales buddy, get yourself a foxhole partner, a fighting hole partner, right? And compete with them. All right, listen, this is what we're gonna do. This week's goals are what? Let's set the goals, me and you. How many calls are you gonna make? You gonna make 100? Okay, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna do 120, right? How many doors are you gonna knock? 50? Okay, I'm gonna do 52 just to piss you off, right? Okay, we're gonna knock 52 doors, but how many phone numbers and email addresses are you gonna get from knocking on those 52 doors? What's gonna be your rate? 20%? I'm gonna get 30%, right? Have that in your system, right? So that you can stay consistent in competition. Competition's fun. That is why we have football and basketball and hockey and tennis and golf and everything else. Now, if you don't want a battle buddy, no problem. Compete with yourself. If you're that disciplined, have fun and compete with yourself. Put your numbers up on the wall, and every single week, beat your own numbers. Compete with yourself, right? Put yourself in the dirt. Make yourself work harder. All right. But competition can be fun, and competition is healthy in any business. That is why you'll see a lot of corporate companies create events where they say, whoever has the best sales gets this, whoever does that gets this, right? Like there are companies that offer awards for top producers, right? And many of you are striving to hit those numbers so you could get that award. Competition is exciting, it's fun. And when you're on that stage, there it is, right? Okay. Next one is remain purposeful. Now, I see some questions popping up. So at the end of this, I got 2 more things I'm going to cover. And then at the end of this, I'll go through it and I will answer all the questions, okay? And we could even have some interaction because I'm like flowing through this. I don't know if it's the cafecito that I just drank or what, but I'm fired up, ladies and gentlemen, okay? I don't know if you guys know Cuban coffee. I don't know how many of y'all are in Miami, but Cuban coffee is like spinach to Popeye, okay? Like it just works that way, okay? Remain purposeful. That's the next thing that I'm going to say. Remain purposeful, okay? Steven just wrote something. I have like 400 renters in my association. Dude, I got an answer for you. I'm telling you, I have an answer for everything, okay? Ever since I was like 5, I've got an answer for everything. All right, remain purposeful. The idea, many of you have attended some of my past trainings where we talk about money making activities, right? MMAs, okay? MMAs are important, right? So the key to remaining purposeful throughout your day is extremely important. The key to it is to know what are the things that are most important that you have to attack in your day. And you'll hear me say, your day is cut like this. AM, PM, and I'm going to call it evening. Right? In the AM, there is you. Ooh, I don't know how to spell you. Hold on a second. Don't laugh at me, folks. It's not fair. All right. AM, PM, and evening. All right. In the AM, there is you. Then there is MMAs. So what do I mean by this? In the mornings, you should take care of you, drink your water, make that breakfast if that's your thing, spend a little time with your kids before they leave to school, okay? Work out. I see you, Kat. Work out, do yoga, go for a walk. I don't care what you do, but get your heart going. Right? I don't care if you're lifting 200-pound dumbbells or you're just walking the park in the morning for 30 minutes. Whatever you do, get your heart pumping to take care of you. And I'll say this consistently, because if you are not around, you can't do any of this. If you're not healthy, you can't do anything we're talking about. Okay? Then you go from that to money-making activities. Why? Because it's the morning. You've got the most energy. Okay? You just did some exercise or something that got your heart going. And you have the most energy in your system, which means that you have the most drive in your day to do all of your money-making activities before the PM rolls around. PM, must-dos, call them MDs, must-dos, okay? So the must-dos, showing properties, must-dos, sending a postcard out, must-dos, like, headed to the post office to drop off those handwritten notes that you created. Must-dos, coffee with a client, must-dos. If you're into recruiting because you have an organization or you have a team or you own a brokerage or whatever the case is, and recruiting is important to you, that's when you have those meetings too. And then your evenings. Now, evenings are debatable. Evenings depend on your lifestyle, right? So for some of you that are family folks, you might want to spend time with your family in the evening. Some of you that grind out this entire thing all day long on super high speed at 110 miles an hour, decompress in the evening. And that's okay. And some of you who are lunatics like me, just kind of roll through the evening and continue to work. I don't typically stop working my day till about 8, 9 o'clock at night, but I'm okay with that. Doesn't mean you have to be that way. It just means that I run and operate 3 businesses and requires my attention, right? And I enjoy it. I'm having fun, guys. But let me explain to you what my evenings look like. Sometimes they're here in the office. Sometimes it's me brainstorming on this board. And sometimes it's me grabbing my laptop, going downstairs to the couch, flipping on some TV show, and having my laptop in front of me and working in slow motion to decompress. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Right? So people, when I tell people I work till late and they think I'm here like this, like I'm working. No, it's not like that at that time. By the way, I don't have the energy anymore at that time. I know I look like I always have crazy energy. I don't, right? I get tired too. Okay. And then lastly, last but not least, this is going to be the most important one. Meet more people than anybody else this summer. Have more conversations. Meet more people, shake more hands, have more coffee meetings than anybody else in the world, have more door knocking events than anybody else in the world, create more events than anybody else in the world. Do anything you possibly can to be in front of people. When you get in front of people, that's where you win. When you get in front of people, that's where the money is. And that consistency will make you a subject matter expert in your business. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that, because I could give you more and more tips on how to do it, but everybody here knows how to shake somebody's hand. Everybody here knows how to communicate with somebody. Everybody here knows how to do it. Problem is, we don't do it. We don't put massive attention to having that sort of interaction. All right, so I'm going to go to some of the questions real quick. So Steven says, I have like 400 renters in my association. Hey, that's cool. I like renters. You know why? Because most of the time, they don't even know they can buy. So go to them with a different approach. Go to them and say, hey, have you ever thought about buying? I don't think I can, Steven. I'm sorry, man. I think, my credit score is only a 620, or I only have X amount of dollars saved away, right? Do they know about the first-time homebuyer programs? Do they know about the hometown hero programs? Like maybe some of those renters are hometown heroes, right? Do they know that there is financial assistance out there? Do they know that there are loans for them? Do they know this stuff? Because I guarantee you, out of those 400 renters, there is a significant number of them that have no idea how to buy a home. Now, here's the crazy part. What if you went to all 400 of those members, all 400 of those people, and you said to them, I am going to host a home buying event, and we are going to teach you how to build wealth through real estate. What? Not how to buy a home. We're going to teach you how to build wealth through real estate. And then you get a lender to sponsor. You get a title company to sponsor. You get a credit repair company to sponsor. And so for the folks that come and go, hey, Steven, listen, I got a 400 credit score. Cool. Let me introduce you to my credit repair guy. I don't have enough money saved. Cool. Let me introduce you to my financial planner. They'll help you get prepared for this. Right? Like get a financial planner to sponsor. Right? Hey, I have a 620 credit score. I have about $15,000 saved. Let me introduce you to my lender. This is where we're going with this, right? How many clients do you think out of the 400 you can turn? And even if it was 10, would that be okay with you? Like, Steven, I don't know what your average price point is, but let's say it's 500. 10 times 500 is $5 million in sales. Are you okay with that? I'm okay with that. Right? All right. I'm thinking about going after the Airbnb listings, asking if they want to sell. Yes, Kat, great opportunity. It means you're paying attention to what's happening. Interest rates are up. So people that are doing Airbnb are getting quite a bit of a hit, right? People are losing jobs around the country. So less people are traveling, which means less people are renting Airbnbs. And homeowners insurance in the state of Florida is about to go up 50% for non-occupant owners. So when that insurance goes up, it's also going to eat into their Airbnb, and some of those Airbnbs may no longer be profitable. And those, while we're all worried about inventory, those Airbnbs all of a sudden become opportunities for first-time homebuyers. Okay. All right. Let's see. I live here. Can I market in the association? Yes, of course. Go to the association, speak to them, and ask them, hey, what can I do to host events here and educate people on home ownership, or host events here and educate people on what's happening in the market, or host events. A lot of associations would be more than happy to help you out. They'll even put you on their newsletter sometimes. All right, so do that kind of stuff. Any way to get around this in a neighborhood that says no solicitation? Man, that's a tricky one. You could send postcards. You could do mailers. I think Brian posted that. You can do mailers. You can do social media ads. So yes, there are ways aside from door knocking on how you could get in touch with those folks, right? So send the mailer to the entire neighborhood. Consistent Facebook ads to the entire neighborhood. Point those Facebook ads to a funnel that makes them sign up for something, like gain their information, put them on email drip campaigns. That's how you would build that out. Okay. Question: what's the best and legal way to market my condominium association business cards on doors? Business cards on doors doesn't work that well. Plus, your building may not like that. So again, just the same answer that I just gave a second ago. Time block for the phones. Brian says time blocks for the phones every day, no interruptions, 100%. That's one of the biggest things that's going to get you more business, is having more conversations. So time blocking for the phones, time blocking for door knocking, time blocking for whatever it is that you do to have more conversations. Now think about this. Some folks have come up to me and said, okay, Dave, I've time blocked creating social media posts. That's cool, but that's not having more conversations, right? Like picking up the phone is having more conversations. Right? Knocking on somebody's door is having more conversations. Hosting events or attending events is having more conversations. By the way, go to Eventbrite and see what's happening in your neighborhood. Go to Meetup and see what's happening in your neighborhood. If the Association of Legal Professionals is having a get together, go. Right? Go. Why would I show up? This would be a bunch of lawyers, because they all live somewhere, and where they live is probably nice. Get what I'm saying here, right? You don't have to stick to the just real estate events, okay? Let's see. I'm nervous now because I have no active listings. Cat, go get them. I know it's crazy, but go get them. Go get them. You know, create some Facebook ads. Continue to post. I love your posts. You hold your phone in front of you and you just talk. That's the way to engage with your community, right? I see you out there. And if I'm seeing you, guess what? A ton of people are seeing you, okay? All right, so those are some of the questions we have. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything they want to put out there, some successes that they would like to share with some of the stuff that we've discussed today? Use that little raise your hand. We'll unmute you. We'll get it going. Anybody? Rocking and rolling. We usually go to about 11:45. Sometimes we run later. It's 11:38 and I finished my class. This coffee's great. All right, if no one has any additional questions or stuff like that, attending open houses and passing out business cards, yes, that's a good one too. Meeting other agents in that sense, right? Creating an open house, that's another opportunity. Dave, I don't have listings. How will I do an open house? Reach out to the local agents in the area and ask them if they would like you to host an open house at their property. Now, some of those agents might say, sure, you can host an open house at our listing, but if you get a buyer, you owe me a referral. Cool, I'll do that. I'll pay you a 25% referral on any buyer that walks through that door that I can pick up because you allowed me to sit in your listing and host an open house. Why not? Right? Now, one last thing that I'll leave you guys with. There are a lot of changes happening in the market right now. And there is a lot of talk of short sales going to be coming up. There's a lot of talk about Airbnbs hitting the market. There's going to be a lot of talk about that stuff. I would extremely focus, while you still market on gaining new buyers in today's market, I would put extreme focus on getting your percentage of listings as high as possible, right? Like try to make it where it's a 75-25 ratio. 75% listings, 25% buyers. Okay. Why? Because those who dominate the neighborhoods, those who have the listings will control the market no matter what happens. Even if some of those listings are short sales or REOs or normal sales or whatever they are, put your sign in front of those yards. Okay. Put your name in front of those yards, gain that access. All right. Somebody wrote, Cloudy says, what's the best way to work referrals? Not sure what you mean there. You want to unmute yourself so you can tell me what you mean there? Best way to work referrals? Or
I like to get referrals, like if you if you have some potential buyer, for instance, out of state, and
Okay.
you want to have, you know, someone refer to somebody.
So that's going to be, yeah, that's going to be based on, so first of all, create relationships with real estate agents around the country. I mean, it's not hard to do, especially with Facebook and stuff like that right now. And there are referral, I was just going to say that Steven says, join a referral group on Facebook and things like that, so that you can, when somebody says, I need somebody in Miami, you go, I'm here, you know, wherever you live, right? And so staying consistent with that and being repetitive. Hey, if you ever need anything in this area, I'm your person, right? And so being able to do that stuff is going to get in front of places, but the relationships is what's really going to get you there, right? And so, and no matter what client you refer out or refer in or whatever the case is, always maintain the conversation with that client that you are the conduit to everything real estate. You are 100% the conduit to everything real estate. So that means that if you refer somebody to Texas and that person in Texas buys a house and you receive a referral fee for that, because you referred it to an agent that you have a relationship with in Texas, right? You still remain in communication with that client. Just because they moved to Texas doesn't mean they don't know somebody that wants to buy in New York that you could refer, or in North Carolina that you could refer. And you don't want them to go to the referral agent. You want them to come back to you. And the only way they'll come back to you is if you stay in massive communication with them and continue to provide them with legitimate value. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, one of the ways that I like to do that is I like to have the conversation with all our clients and tell them I am the conduit to everything. You need a general contractor, I'm your guy. I have a solar contract. So anybody that wants solar panels, I'm your guy. You know, you need to change your locks, I'm your guy. You need a plumber, I'm your guy. You want to redo your entire backyard and get a new pool, I'm your guy. I want every time a client needs something for their house, they should only think of you. They should never think of you as their real estate agent. They should think of you as the conduit to everything real estate. And that's one way that you can really stay in communication with your clients, right? It's not only, this is what's happening in the market, and I just got a new listing and I just sold this new house. It's also like, hey, whatever you need, I'll take care of it. Like you having a party, I've got a food truck that'll pull up to the front of your house and a personal chef that'll work out of your kitchen. I will help you with this. You know, Benjamin says, do you like billboards? I think billboards only work to give you social presence. It's a nice thing. It really is a nice thing. People will take your picture, post it on social media. They'll be like, hey, my friend Benjamin, check him out. Like, I like it. But they, for the price of a billboard and where you spend your money, you're better off spending it on social media and making social media your billboard, right? Brian says, we're creating a vendor list to mail out to the community. Huge. That's huge. By the way, Brian, I would challenge you to find a way to gather those folks' information before they're allowed to download the list. So I would send a letter out that says, we've got this amazing vendor list for you, and we want to give it to you to be able to communicate with trusted vendors that we have in the community, right? That we have vetted, that we know, and blah, 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 so forth, so on. My name is Brian. I'm a real estate expert, so forth, so on. Fill out the information below, name, email address, and phone number, and we will immediately give you an opportunity to download this list, right? I would challenge you to do that, because now, instead of just giving away information, you're receiving information as well. And then you can retarget those people in a different way. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Got a lot of love for you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Please get out there, stay successful, and stay fast. See you guys soon.